What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today we are back with another episode of Weekend Gaming. So this is the series that I've decided to start up where you guys get to leave your questions in the comments below, and then I'm going to take a look at them for the next week, and then I'm going to answer them, kind of give you my humble opinions on them, and just kind of give some general thoughts, because there are a lot of really good ideas out there in the communities, whether it's for something like Dokkan, whether it's for another game on a system or PC or whatever it might be, or if you just want my thoughts on, hey, you know, this has been getting a lot of good reviews. Do you think it's good, or do you think this is good, or do you think it's bad, or whatever it might be? So I do want to make a couple changes real quick to it, because a couple people did point this out. So in order, it's a lot sometimes to look through all these questions, especially when you get really bored of seeing the same old general, you know, how can I get more stones, or how can I do this, or how can I do this? Because that's more of a question to that single person type thing, and that's not really what I want this series to be. So from now, I'm gonna still give it a few days, but I'm gonna, if I see that a question is generally really cool, I'm gonna answer it. And if the question has maybe a bunch of likes, say your question is really good and a lot of people like it, then I will also answer that. So if you see a question in the comments that you personally like, maybe you didn't write it, but you like it, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and the more that I see, I'll be like, okay, clearly a lot of people like this question, and I'll answer it. Because there are also times though where people ask the same question, and so if I see one that's upvoted essentially, then I will definitely answer that, no problem. Okay. Again though, I do not want the same generic questions about, you know, how can I do this? What can I do this? You know, come on. I've said plenty of times what I want, you know, what I'd like to see in this series and how I want to kind of move it forward. And, you know, it does bring brings us all closer together, and that's what I really like about it. So yeah, so that's what I hope. So again, if you want your comments to be recognized and for me to answer them in next week's video, leave them down below. And yeah, let's get started. So the first one actually isn't from anyone, but I wanted to touch upon it really quickly because it was kind of leaked, but it's kind of more speculation. We really don't know if this is true or not. We've simply seen some leaks, whether it's from data mining or whatever. But if it actually is true, and we can at least get an announcement about it, it would be really cool, because this I actually am really liking. So the first one is basically that there is a, I don't know, I don't want to call it a leak. I'll call it a leak right now. There is a little leak saying that in the future, sometime in Dokkan, we are supposed to be getting characters, or other characters will get a buff somehow of multiple passives. So if you guys don't already know, there are certain characters where when you raise their SA level to a certain level, whether it's 5, 10, or 15, or even 20 for the LR cards, you get usually a boost in your attack and everything. Or for someone like Buhan, if you raise it to level 10, then you have a 30% chance to then greatly lower attack and defense, as opposed to just normally lowering it, and it even changes the super attack. Well, for this, supposedly, there are going to be multiple levels of supers. As for how this will be obtained, I'm not sure. Whether maybe you have to unlock all 4 paths on the Deuce system, or you have to have your SA maybe up to 5 or something like that, or maybe depending on what kind of team you run it on, it'll activate differently depending on maybe links or something like that. But I just thought this was pretty cool just to mention real quick, because it would be really cool. This is actually really cool to add multiple type passives. And if they add these to existing characters already, this will also be really cool. So maybe, for example, I'm gonna take Janemba actually, because I was using Janemba in a challenge video earlier today. So Janemba, as you guys all know, he blocks every single type, and he raises his own defense by 4,000, 5,000, something like that, or, you know, anyway. So he does that. So maybe with Janemba, if you let's go with, if you're linked, okay? Let's say if you're linked with Buhan, or maybe something that activates a Metamorphosis link, which allows you to heal just a little bit, then, or sorry, Metamorphosis is a key link, but then there's also the regenerative link. Say you're linked with someone like that, so let's say Buhan, for example, because those two link really well. Maybe that will also activate a secondary passive or something like that if he gets that ability, and it can increase the defense for Buhan as well, or something like. No, just, I don't know. That's some kind of example. So, but I always thought that was pretty cool. That when I saw it, I was like, this is real. This actually does happen in the future. This would be really cool. So let me know your thoughts down below though in the comments. Do you think this would be a cool idea to give kind of multiple passives, whether it's to obviously upcoming characters, but also older characters and everything? Because another thing you could also look at is maybe someone like Kaioken Blue Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Goku have those turn restricted passes. Maybe you can up them or completely negate them somehow, and that would be really cool. Make those, obviously someone like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Kaioken, those guys are still really good, actually, especially on a mono agility team, because not very few times does their passive actually run out because of how strong they are. Only on the later events does it really run out, but nonetheless, really cool to see something like that. So let me know your thoughts down below. So first question comes from, and sorry again if I butcher any names. So the first question comes from Yambio, and he says, Talon, what do you think of Japan controlling Global? Do you think they should give the legal rights to American Dokkan, because Global is just a side piece right now? Ever since it became #1 in Japan after Super Saiyan 4 drop, they've been mainly focusing on Japan Global becoming a wasteland. They could negotiate that they give them the rights, and the American Dokkan gives them a portion of their yearly earnings to them. Okay, a little long at the end, but nonetheless, yeah. Global's not dead right now. Finally, you guys got Goku Black and everything. You got a lot of stuff going on right now, which is great. Global's needed that, and I think the ticket banner is even coming out here in a couple days. But one thing, yes, to answer your question, yes, I think Japan needs to give Global to, whether it's the American branch, the European branch, or whatever country is there, or some other branch besides their main one. Because you can tell, and from living in Japan and how people work and everything, I can tell you right now, yes, JP is the main focus. They, probably overworked a little bit, and then they kind of look at Global like, oh, right, we should probably do something. Oh, wait, JP's calling. Oh, so that's most likely what's happening. So, yes, I think they do need to do that. Will it happen? I don't think so. And the only reason I say that is because it is going to be tied down in legal rights like no tomorrow. If you want to know why Global will 99% of the chance not get the Arale banner or the Heroes banner, it's because that stuff is tied to Japan and in legal rights, the whole 9 yards, and it would just be stuck in limbo basically for who knows how long. So obviously, Dokkan is a game and not the rights to that kind of stuff, obviously. But because, unless they were able to somehow take out, maybe, let's say, for example, if those two banners or something like that, or events or whatever, were holding it back from being given to a different branch around the world, and they just said, like, okay, look, you're not going to get this, but we'll give you all rights to do the rest of this and to follow with future content, great. By all means, if they could do that, great. But that's the only thing I mainly see it from happening. Hopefully, maybe in the future they would do it, but I don't see them doing it. Yes, I'm pretty sure it would obviously make them more money to give it to someone else, because they would be able to pump more content out, because you need to be doing that for a game like this. This would obviously bring more money in for Bandai and everything like that, but I'm sure there's some old stick-in-the-mud guy who's probably going, no, we don't need to. We need to hold on to it. Old-fashioned thinking over here in Japan half the time, I swear. So, but nonetheless, yes, I hope they do it in the future. I really think they should. Will they? Very hard to say. So let me know your thoughts down below if you think so as well. The next question comes from the Mammoth, and he said, or Mammoth, I guess. And he says, hey, Talon, sticking to my question from last time, and couldn't actually find your question in the last video. He says, which cards do you think would be cool to have in Dokkan, which we haven't had before? Example, Spirit Bomb, SSJ Goku, Super Android 13 movie where he absorbs a Spirit Bomb. I think it's where he turns red or something like that. Coffee Bean, Super Vegito. I thought it was Candy Super Vegito. During the fight against Buhan, Monoka, and so on. Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't given us the Candy Vegito yet. I'm hoping they do that. I really, really hope they do that in the future. But yeah, no, these would be kind of fun little things. A Spirit Bomb SSJ Goku, that'd be actually a really cool card to get, actually. It could be pretty decent. Monoka, that would definitely be kind of along kind of the terms of a Yamcha-like card, probably. So, I personally would never use it, but, it's always fun just to see these little joke things come in. I mean, for example, we have the Hercule coming in, which is always really cool. So that's, always fun to see. But, yeah, I don't know. Yes, I want to see those, obviously, and yes, we obviously want to see more cards. I know a lot of people want to see, like, Super 17 and everything. But, yeah, I mean, by all means, I would love to see those kind of little joke cards kind of rambling around and everything. So that would actually be really, really cool. So, yeah. And then, so this actually kind of ties back to 2 videos ago, because a lot of people were talking about this, but I also found a few questions like this again in this video, and so I just picked the first one that I saw, and this one comes from Daniel, and he says, I think a raid game mode would be great for the game. A few people, let's say 3 to 4, can verse a very powerful boss. I think this is what everyone was trying to say about wanting a multiplayer mode in Dokkan, which is obviously very difficult, especially with the type of game it is. It says, everyone team's HP will accumulate into one big health pool, and each player would take turns attacking and being attacked by the boss. And I guess they could put a little chat in the box in there so you can communicate with your team. Yes, actually, the more I thought about this actually would be a pretty cool idea. And actually, I saw one comment about this, about even having other effects besides sealing and stunning and everything, even things like poison and things like that, which I don't honestly see, since we've never actually really seen things like poison and everything like that in a Dokkan game. Yes, it works in other kind of RPG-like games and everything, but if we're sticking to the Dragon Ball lore and universe and everything, I don't know. I don't think people would really attain to it, but I could be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But in terms of this kind of 3 versus 4 against one really powerful boss, I actually kind of like this. But they have to add that chat box in, or way to somehow communicate or something like that. Because the one thing that I look at, like with Blazings, like with this multiplayer mode, the biggest downfall to it is the fact that there is no way to communicate with somebody unless you know the people and you game up with them, and then you jump onto Discord or something like that. But if you are doing it with someone random, you need a way to at least chat in the box somehow and be like, hey, look, I'm going to do this. Don't heal just yet. Don't save your healing items. I'm going to activate this defense boost. You know, obviously, yes, you could always show them that, you know, if I'm looking at my screen or something like that, and say person A activates and Icarus or something like that, I'll be like, no, don't activate that yet. I've got Janemba coming up. He's going to like block everything. You don't need to do that. You know, save your items depending on how the boss is. You know, that could definitely cause a problem. So if they found a way for us allowed to communicate, then yes, I think that would be pretty cool to go like that. All right, and then the last one comes from Broderick Hodge, I think is how you pronounce your name, good sir. But he says, thinking of the older TURs, do you think they'll ever have another type of awakening to older TURs to make them more viable and usable again? If so, how do you think they will implement this? So actually, it's funny that this kind of question comes around right now, because when I saw this question, this was literally like a day or two before Goku came out, the Super Saiyan 3 Halo Goku. And yes, they're not taking TURs to level them up. What they are doing is they're continuing their little thing about the Baba Shop card. So the Baba Shop Halo Super Saiyan 2 Goku Dokkans into the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and he has the same exact super animation actually as the new one, the brand new one, the tech one that we have, which I thought was really cool. Now, granted, it is Goku, and I swear Japan has a hard-on for Goku essentially, but it's cool though that they're putting a little bit more effort, at least into something like that. And they've taken the Tech Goku, the one that starts at a rare, the rare Goku, they have now got him all the way up to a TUR, Fierce Battle, the whole 9 yards. Not that crappy Rebirth Link or anything like that, but they gave him all the way up to a TUR with Fierce Battle. He's basically like a Strength Beerus, but with Tech, and the dude hits hard, and he's free. He's completely free from the game. You can farm him, get him up to SA10, get 4 additional ones, unlock his pass at the UR state, and then Dokkan awaken him into his Halo, you know, into his Angel Super Saiyan 3 form. The dude is great. The only downside to him is you can't run him with the new Super God Tech Goku, but nonetheless, he is great. So do I see them doing this in the future for other cards to at least get them up to a TUR? Yes. To get past the TUR, very hard to say, because the next one is LR, unless they make something that's kind of like a demi LR card, because, you know, you go from it's every 20 levels essentially. So you're going, you know, SSR, which is 80, UR, which is 100, TUR, which is 120, and LR jumps to 150. And the only person that's done that so far is Piccolo. And, well, I guess any of the normal LR cards essentially have done that. So if they don't, you know, unless they feel like making a lot of LR cards, then they're going to have to jump up to, say, 140 and call it like a, you know, give the letters of, like, LR, and then maybe underneath it or to the side of it, they put, like, you know, FLR, which stands for like false LR or something like, you know, something along those lines. So they could do something like that. And I see them potentially doing this in the future as long as Dokkan continues to have a life. You know, let's say for example, Dokkan dies tomorrow and no one stops playing it. No one wants to play it. No one wants to buy stones, nothing. And then it dies, and obviously we're not going to see that. But I think as long as they continue to do this, it is starting to bring some people back, because the nice thing is that, yes, you do have these big cards coming out, and obviously something like JP does give a lot of stones sometimes, but, you know, it is nice to push more towards, like, Dokkaning the Baba Shop cards, Dokkaning, you know, a free R card that we've had since the beginning of the game, which is really, really cool. And they're not just pushing for the summons. I have a feeling if they were not doing this, people obviously would still be playing the game, obviously. It's still doing fine for right now, but moving forward, I don't think it would. So it is good that they're starting to do this. And do I hope that they will, again, awaken TURs even further? Maybe not to LRs, but maybe to a kind of a false LR-like card? I think they could. When, I don't know, but I think they could, and I think that'd be really cool. Because, you know, yes, like you said, it would be to make them more viable, but at the same time, going back to that multiple passives thing, maybe that is their way of doing it. Maybe they're not going to level them up to a false LR-like card, but they could do something to help with the passive skills to make them stronger, because you have something like, you know, the Ultimate Gohan Intel, who has a flat boost compared to a percent boost. Maybe there's a way to change that. Again, with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, not getting that turn restriction, or not as of much as a turn restriction somehow. However they decide to implement that, if something like that is real, that would be really cool. So yes, I hope this happens, of course, and we'll just have to see in the future. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that is it for all of the questions. I hope you did enjoy. Leave your comments down below, again, about what you want to see for next week, and leave those likes if you like something. I'm more likely to recognize it. Again, I'm human. I'm not going to be able to see every comment, especially when you get tired of seeing every single question look exactly the same. So if you see something great, whether it's Dokkan, consoles, anything, PC, whatever it might be, leave likes and all that stuff, and we'll answer them as fast as we can. If we can't, if I see a really good one, but maybe I don't have the time to answer it in the next video, I will take it aside and I will set it aside for the next one if possible, okay? Because like I said, I try not to make these too long, around 15 to 16 minutes, give or take, okay? So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your likes and your comments down below. As always, subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get notified about these videos on exactly when I send them out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next one.